My name is Areti, and I'm the editor of Smart Energy International. And I have today with me Luis Francisco, who is the Service Lifecycle Manager of Siemens. Hi, Luis, and thank you for coming.
Areti. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I'll go directly to my first question to you. Can you briefly describe what are retrofits and enhancement services, please?
Yes, sure. The complete energy chain today is disrupted, has been disrupted. So during this energy transition, which implies shifting from traditional and obsolete technologies to new and more sustainable, reliable, and flexible ones, what we do with our retrofits and enhancement services is to support our customers as technological partners to go through that transition smartly so they can transition their energy automation and protection systems. And here we have, anything that goes from system migrations, upgradations, extensions, or retrofits itself, enhancement, which could be, I would say, functionality extension, new algorithm within the system, or with our SciCam Grid Edge, we can enable a site so you can enable the IoT applications also in the cloud. So there's I would say, bunch of solutions available that helps our customer to smartly transition this wave of changes.
Okay, that makes sense. However, can you please explain to me why should companies, and I mean utilities, TSOs, DSOs, etc., consider smart transitioning their energy automation and protection systems?
Yeah, sure. There's a common saying in the industry that says if you have something up and running, don't change it, don't touch it. Yes, but in reality, is at the end of the day, everything ties to the cost of ownership.
Yeah.
So when you have a legacy obsolete system working, the cost that you get over the life cycle of that system is huge. Also, if that system has been, let's say, implemented 15, 20 years ago, then you have also issues addressing today's problems because the energy grid changed, and based on this disruption, is changing rapidly. So when I'm with customers, what I typically do is ask them some questions so they can also think about in having or embracing some of these projects. A typical question is, okay, how your OpEx looks like. How often something fails or malfunction. What about spare parts? Do you have them available? Are you replacing? Are you repairing? Right? So is the system that you are running actually safe for the employees, from the EHS point of view? Or what about the standards? I mean, standards evolve, and you have, laws, regulations. What about cybersecurity? There's so many topics in it that plays a role, and this is actually what we do and how and why we do it.
Yeah, hot topics, all of them.
Yes.
But when would you say that companies should consider retrofitting and enhancing their energy automation systems?
That's a good question. Look, we have to divide here what is primary equipment and secondary equipment. In the primary equipment, typically we manufacture equipment to last 30, 40 years.
Okay.
But it's not the same when we've manufactured, let's say, electronic-based equipment. Our protection relays, for example, they are manufactured with the intent to last 20 years plus. However, experience already showed that there are certain things that you can do, across the life cycle. I would say that if you have a system that has 15 years already, or been 15 years in operation plus, it is a good time to start planning, getting transparency of what you have installed. Things typically change over time, right? Yeah. And a lot of changes happens at 3 a.m. in a Saturday, and nobody knows what it was. So you need to get those clarifications, understanding that in detail, and then start budgeting and having an idea. If a customer engages us on time, then we can start that journey together. Let's say that you have a system let's say, recently installed, 5 years old, 10 years old, then you don't need to change, let's say, the whole system. Better to enhance what you have. Because a technology of 5 years old is a good technology, right? And you can actually leverage on the newest one to enable those functionalities, applications that will solve your problems. And I would say also that if you have a greenfield project, let's say something that is new, what I would propose is to leverage on new technology. Because we have technology today that is also disruptive. We're talking about digital twins. We're talking about universal relays. We have our Protect 5 compact, which is meant for distribution, industry, and infrastructure. But as well, we have the Protect 5 universal, 7X85, that is for the transmission landscape. And you can order those, I would say, empty relays. And with an application that we have cloud-based, you can collect and download function points with our function point manager, and then enable the functionality that you need. When you think about the disruption that is happening also in the supply chain, having that flexibility will allow you to order devices way before the detail engineering is completed, and then you can actually manage or mitigate the risks of any delays. And this is how we handle today projects, right? So that's why we have a lot of happy customers.
So forward thinking and solving problems before they even appear, I guess.
Exactly.
Excellent.
That's the point.
Can you give me some specific examples, like one example, a specific one?
Yes, I mean, there's many I can. Okay, let's transport, let's say, to South America. I mean, here this is an electrical utility that operates a 20 kV, 60 kV substation, double bus bar. So they had an issue with a legacy SICAM SAS, and they wanted to upgrade that to the SICAM PAS, which is the latest technology. Now, the requirement was, we want to do that with the minimum outage time when you do the migration. And we said, okay. I mean, they were technological partners of us, so we had already people working on those systems as they require as part of their OPEX, right? And what we did was to engage earlier those maintenance crew also within the project schedule in a way that everything that we said at the beginning that is important to have a transparency of the system, what is in there, it was new upfront, okay? So in addition, what we did was to do a lot of pre-commissioning. When you're working with migrating a system, it is good to do a lot of work off-site, right? In a way that when you go on-site, many things are already, pre-done, so to say, or pre-tested. And according to the timing from the customer, then it took literally a few days to put it up and running.
Okay. It makes total sense to me. Thank you for explaining. Do you have any final thoughts for me?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that we are in an amazing time in history, right? And the energy transition is real. Of course, each country will go in a different pace or speed, but with our retrofits and enhancement services, we can support customers to go through that transition smoothly. Whether it is to extend the lifespan of their system or improve the reliability or availability, at the end of the day, anything that we do will be to reduce the cost of ownership of those systems.
Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us and for your optimistic views of the future. Thank you for being here, Luis.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.